This is One-on-One. Ron Labaco is the Marcia Docter Curator at the Museum of Art and Design right here in New York City, right?
It's right down the street on Columbus Circle.
Well, thanks for coming to hang out in the neighborhood with us at the Tisch WNET studio.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Let me ask you, this exhibit we're about to talk about is called the out-of-hand exhibit, Materializing the Postdigital?
Yes.
Make sense of that.
It is our three-dimensional world as interpreted by computer-assisted manufacturing.
Huh?
So it's looking at objects, things that were created,
Right.
that were designed, created, conceived by artists, architects, and designers over the past 8 years.
Can we look at video first?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you can talk about it and then you have to see it. Go ahead, let's go to it.
So this shows the influence for this table that was made through 3D printing. So this is called a fractal table by two German designers.
Right.
And in a moment we see, this is the digital model in the computer, and then this is actually the 3D printing machine. This is built up in layers. Now, lasers cure layers of liquid resin.
Right.
And layers upon layers are built up much like coil building a clay pot. And basically, it goes from a digital design, a 3D model in the computer, into a physical object.
Is that what's called digital fabrication?
Absolutely. So
Digital fabrication, is that a new term?
It's one that's become more and more common. It may have, people may be more familiar with the idea as rapid prototyping, because prior to about 2005, people were using these technologies to create samples. Around 2005, there seems to be a shift. And artists, architects, designers, various creative people were starting to incorporate these technologies into their general practice. So now, in terms of digital fabrication, and in the exhibition, we have architects, designers, fashion, furniture.
Hold on, these are the people who would be
sculpture.
most inclined to see it. Architects, sculptors, people into fashion.
Yes.
What about regular folks like me who are not into that, just talk show hosts? Is there something there for us?
Absolutely. On the second floor, we have a lab. So we're partnering with Shapeways, which is an online 3D printing platform, so people can be scanned. So you can be scanned, your full body, and then you can have a tiny model printed out.
Fascinating. I know we have a dress that we're going to look at, and you're going to talk through.
Okay, so this dress is by Michael Schmidt and Francis Bittonti. Michael Schmidt's in Los Angeles, Francis Bittonti is in New York. It was designed...
Easy for you to say. Go ahead.
It was designed by for the burlesque icon Dita Von Teese.
That dress is not 3D printing.
It is entirely 3D
really?
printed in parts, and it's actually the first fully articulated dress. So there are 3,000 individual joints. So it's created in that machine that you saw.
Sorry for interrupting. That dress was designed for this particular woman's shape?
It was. So they scanned her body, using a 3D scanner. I don't know if you're familiar with that machine, that apparatus, but basically it's capturing a 3D model in the computer. It's like a hologram in the computer. And then that information, what is common about all of the objects in the exhibition is that they originate in the computer as a model, and then the information is sent in layers to a machine that builds it up. So for the dress, they scanned her body to create something that was perfectly form-fitting. It was made in segments and assembled. So people seem to think that 3D printing is instantaneous. That dress took a week to print out fully. So it's less than if it were to have been made by hand.
Right.
But essentially, it's something that would not have been able to be created prior to this technology because it incorporates inherent articulated joints.
This is wild.
A 3D printer, you can print something that has a joint, so there's no need for assembly. It's the idea of 3D printing an umbrella that's folded. You pull it out of the machine, and you can unfold it, and it is, and so that dress itself is something that...
Let's try this one. I know there's another video. It is called CNC, milling.
Correct.
As we look at it, what is that?
So CNC is abbreviation for computer numerically controlled. Basically, it's computer assisted. In this piece by Barry Exball, he's a Brooklyn artist, and he recreates masterworks. He scans the original, captures it as a digital file. Here we see it as a digital file, and then has it recreated in a different hard stone. So he goes to quarries around the world, and it's a machine that creates it. I mean, it took 2 years for him to develop the technology of the model. And again, once he's identified the hard stone, that was about a week of rough cutting, and then a month of a robotic arm, basically a robot. It's called a multi-axial robot because it can come in from different directions and create these really intricate objects and complex undercuts that wouldn't have been easily accomplished
Layperson's
otherwise.
Question that's on my mind, and I know the people watching here on public television are thinking the same thing, but doing that, does it take away from the original art?
No, because in this particular case, there is so much handwork that goes into it. So you could see it as an extension of an artist and the artist's, the people who train under him and work with him. But in a sense, it's a machine, it's a robot that takes it to a certain point, and then he has assistants that then work months, 9 months to complete it.
Okay, before I let you out here, Ron, one more. By the way, the exhibit, Out of Hand, is going to be all the way till June 2014?
Correct.
Okay, one more quick picture. Brain waves sofa?
This is fantastic. So two
real quick.
designers had an EEG connected to their head and measured their brainwave pattern while thinking of the term comfort.
Right.
So this is a 3-second brainwave pattern of the thought of comfort, which they then had created into a sofa. And the idea is the word comfort comfortable?
You love what you do.
It's fantastic.
It really is, and that's why you're the Marcia Docter Curator at the Museum of Art and Design in Columbus
Circle.
right around the corner from Lincoln Center.
Correct.
We appreciate that. Ron Labaco, we appreciate you coming in. Good stuff. Make sure you go see the Out of Hand exhibit it's going to be, it was actually started a few months ago, all the way to mid-year 2014. Right. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Stay right there.
Thanks.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back from the Tisch WNET studio at Lincoln Center. They're around the corner, but we're here. That's why we're neighbors. Be back right after this. That was fascinating.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System. Funding has been provided by Barnabas Health, Berkeley College, the law firm of Gibbons PC, United Water, Wells Fargo, Verizon Communications, and by New Jersey Natural Gas. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been made possible in part by the Adler Aphasia Center.